Today I wanted to go over my water lilies that I'll be using in this water lily collector painting that I'm working on right now. I'll put that up on the screen. As you can see in the photograph, there aren't any water lilies in the paint in the photograph other than in the boat where she's collected all of them, and they come in white and pink. So I've already splattered my background right here. Probably hard to make out the boat. Like, this is where the tip of the boat is. This would be in shadow. Here's the woman's hat. Here's the white lilies. Here are the magenta or fuchsia lilies, where those will be, and then all of this other stuff. And then I'll put in the horizon line is going to go basically at eye level, and then I'll have some little huts and some palm trees in the background, and then I'm going to have a patch of water lilies here, a patch here, and then a couple off in the distance. So one of the things I'm trying to get around is doing a lot of negative painting around these. So the first thing I did when looking through these pictures of water lilies, there are tons of different kinds. Here are the different kinds of flowers. You've got some that are very flat, which is the type I will be focusing on. You've got some that are kind of buckled. That might be at a different time of year. Maybe they're starting to dry up. It's the end of their season. That I don't know. I'm not trying to be a botanist here. I was just trying to come up with a quick way and a teachable way of rendering these for the purpose of being a secondary character in a painting, not for being the main character in a painting. So the first thing I noticed is they all have this look like Pac-Man, and then so this would be an aerial view, and then as we get more flattened out, you see less and less of, that's clearly Pac-Man. This looks like just a little circle with a notch cut out, and then obviously they get smaller. So in the foreground, I'll probably just have three of them, three pads, three flowers, or two flowers, then a bunch of pads. This one actually has a third flower in it, but I didn't draw the spiky parts on it. Just going with that uneven number, even though, compositionally they're just a bit apart, within their own little area, if you still kind of comply to those design suggestions, rules of uneven numbers. So I've done a few color studies. The color I'm going to go with will be on the, let's see if I can get both of these in here, this bottom one with a warm background, and I painted them yellow here. They'll still be pretty white in the painting, and then the fuchsia color here, and I dropped them in there as well. So what I've done for practice, in addition to the color studies, for practice I took an 11 by 14 piece of paper and just splattered the same colors that I did on the actual painting. So, obviously I can't get the exact same patterns and mixtures, but it's close enough. It's got some of the warmth, it's got some of the cool colors, and it's varied in how it's laid out. So I did a practice one here, which would be pretty close to the size I'll be working with on the painting, and then I did another batch here with a poorly rendered version of the boat, and then in pencil I've drawn little card, almost like postcard size, with the lady in the boat, and I'll probably do another set of color studies over this. But this is the quickest way I found to do them. We've got these that close and have kind of a rounded edge on the opening, the Pac-Mans, and then here's one that gets so big that you can put like a little glass or plastic tray in it, and people can sit in it. Here's a picture of a baby with a teddy bear. So that's how I do it. Obviously, again, having some perspective, laying them out, and then just drawing a simple cluster. And then the foreground, you've got a cluster of 3. Everything, you can kind of see all the individual parts. And then in the middle ground, they look like little circles with maybe a drop of a flower here and there. And in the background, it's more groupings that are separated. So picture this grouping of 3 being in this grouping 3 times. So you've got 3 lily pads, you've got maybe 9, and then back here you've got a 9, a 9, a 9, and a 9, kind of scattered about. So they don't have to be perfectly rendered. This isn't an illustration, this is a painting, and these are, again, secondary characters. They're not the main event. So I'm going to work on a couple of other renderings like this one. I'm also going to play on this with this guy. And this background that I've done here, I saw this, and when I was a kid, this is a side story, when I was a kid, well, a teenager, I lived with a painter who would take different colors of paint and put them in between 2 pieces of paper, and then pull it apart, and then let that dry, and then he would paint these little miniatures in it. And it kind of reminded me of that. I'm like, well, I might do this more often for my color studies, is when I have something in mind, or maybe even when I get to the stage of this initial wash, then I can go in and have this background. Or maybe I just do some of these abstract backgrounds and then look and say, oh, I could do a surfer on this or whatever. But right now, Slow Travel Painter is in Vietnam, and we're painting this this beautiful scene of this lily picker. I don't know what time of day they do this. I imagine the morning is better. Get out there when it's cool. So that's kind of what this scene is either an evening or an afternoon, or excuse me, either a morning or a late afternoon, sun up, sun down. Obviously, as painters, photographers, we love the golden hour, so that's what I'm going with there. So that's all for this part of the lesson.